Hi, everyone. Next on News 4 Nightcast.
What's the next step for Oklahoma City since Boeing has turned thumbs down?
Police seek two men in connection with a homicide.
Conserve or there could be a shortage of water soon.
From Oklahoma's largest and most honored news team, News 4 Nightcast is next. You're watching KTVY Channel 4. The Volunteer Connection needs you. And now, from Oklahoma City, Dan Slocum, Donna Gregory, Dan Threlkel, Bob Berry Jr. This is News 4 Nightcast.
Good evening. Oklahoma City authorities say Boeing was a good
property near Will Rogers Airport. That would pay for the improvements needed and build 41 new hangars for Boeing. But Oklahoma City could not afford to be left on a limb in 5 years if Boeing wanted out, because government contracts were not renewed. And unlike Oklahoma, Louisiana agreed to sell bonds to finance the project without a vote of its people.
And time was another factor, too, that worked against us. They had to have the facility by breaking ground on the facility by September the 1st, which would not have allowed us to have any type of a bond issue or pass an ordinance. We would have had to taken it to a vote of the people.
City authorities who were involved in the Boeing negotiations tell us that even though we lost the project, it was still a good experience for Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City owns 7,500 acres of property out here at Will Rogers Airport. It's land that's been bought and paid for. And Jim Scott says that's a good incentive to get companies like Lockheed or other aviation-related industries to locate here in town. Oklahoma City says it plans to pursue that. Terry Cook, News 4.
And this sign says it all. Boeing says yes to Lake Charles. Lake Charles residents are happy the Boeing plant is on its way. Most found out about it on the 5 o'clock news last night. That city's mayor says it will help cut the 15% unemployment rate in southwest Louisiana.
You'll have several service companies that should come around because of that, locate here, provide more jobs. There's a tremendous interest in the air park itself. The authority's doing an excellent job of working with these people, and there's several of them that have called the city. We will be turning them over to the authority to work with.
Lake Charles officials estimate the plant will bring 1,400 jobs to that area. What can help Oklahoma rebound?
That was the topic when two political candidates squared off today. U.S. Senator Don Nichols and Congressman Jim Jones tackled not only the issues, but in some instances, each other. The issues ranged from presidential support to campaign donations, but the overriding issue was Oklahoma's sagging economy. Both men agree the economy is the most pressing issue this political year. There remains some disagreement over how to resolve it.
Oklahoma's farmers have lost 26% of their income because they've lost 26% of their export markets in the last 5 years. That is due directly to government policies made in Washington in the last 5 years, and we've got to change those policies. We've got to get the farmer back on his feet.
I think Oklahoma needs a right to work law. I think we need to have a better reform in the tort reform area. I think we need more work in the workers' compensation. And most of that needs to be done on the Oklahoma level. But we're going to have to work, I think, to improve we're going to have a change in governor for sure. And I also think we're going to have a significant change in the legislature. But I think we're all going to have to work together.
This is the first time these men have come face-to-face in this campaign. Oklahoma City police are still searching for two suspects tonight in connection with the murder of an Oklahoma City man. Neighbors called police this afternoon when Lloyd Thompson didn't answer his door. He'd been seen shortly before with two Mexican males who had offered to help Thompson change a tire on his car. Witnesses told police they saw the two men leaving the apartment with household items under their arms. They left in a brown Mercury. Police speculate the motive in the death was robbery.
Convicted mass murderer Roger Dale Stafford wants to hire a hypnotist to help his case. Catch is, it could cost McLean County over $16,000. Stafford's attorneys want to hire Martin Orn. They claim he is a nationally known hypnotist. Stafford's attorneys are asking the state Supreme Court to order McLean County to pick up the tab, since Stafford is indigent. Stafford is trying to have his conviction overturned in the 1978 murders of a Texas family. His hearing will focus on statements made by Stafford's ex-wife while she was under hypnosis. Still to come on Nightcast, AIDS testing at Tinker Air Force Base, placing the blame at Chernobyl for the first time, and this.
I'm Dan Threlkel. It turned out to be the hottest day of the year in Oklahoma. Well, it looks like we'll see some relief. Some showers are on the radar. We'll show you those as News 4 Nightcast continues.
Tinker Air Force Base will begin an AIDS testing program. 21 bases worldwide will start testing the 1st of August. A Tinker spokesman says only military personnel will undergo the test. There are no plans to test civilian workers. Attorneys representing Betty Marcy of Ada are not giving up on her multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the U.S. Tobacco Company. The lawyers are appealing the decision reached last month in favor of the tobacco company. A 6-member jury heard 5 weeks of testimony in an Oklahoma City federal court. Marcy claims her son died from oral cancer as a result of dipping snuff. Marcy's attorneys want the case to be retried. They claim the judge would not allow them to present studies linking oral cancer in young people who use snuff.
In Moscow, the Kremlin is now blaming human error for the Chernobyl nuclear accident in April. Soviet officials said today the accident was due to, quote, gross breaches of operating regulations by plant workers. The latest death toll stands at 28 tonight, with more than 30 people still hospitalized. Former President Richard Nixon is back from the Soviet Union tonight. He arrived in New York late today. While in Moscow, he talked with Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev. They discussed U.S.-Soviet relations. Nixon will now meet with President Reagan to talk about his Soviet visit. Donna?
The security plan in Beirut is coming under attack tonight. Syrian commandos are working to get guns off the streets in Lebanon. But this bullet-riddled bus is an indication the security plan hasn't worked. 4 gunmen hit the bus from the outside, then they boarded and kept firing. 4 passengers were killed. They all worked at the American University Hospital in West Beirut. A lawyer representing the families of 2 teenagers burned alive in Chile is accusing that country's army of lying to hide blame for their deaths. Chile's General Vargas isn't accusing any of the army members he has detained in connection with the deaths. Apparently, there is some doubt whether the deaths were intentional, but the U.S. is requesting a full investigation. One of those killed was an American resident.
Nicaraguans are celebrating the 7th anniversary of the revolution that put the Sandinistas in power. President Daniel Ortega announced today he's coming to New York to address the UN Security Council. He will lobby against U.S. aid for the Contras. Ortega also used the celebration to show public support for the Sandinistas. He led the crowd in attacks against President Reagan and U.S. intervention.
We have something we're a little bit proud of here at Channel 4. Some of us were
That is
part
right.
of this.
This afternoon, Channel 4 took on radio station KTVY to raise money for Easter Seals out at Rotary Park. And here's the result. We won a big trophy, and we're awful glad of that. This is the trophy that we won from the tournament this afternoon out at Rotary Park. We had a lot of fun. They're a super team, but we just thumped them, and we're awful proud of that.
We did what to them?
We just thumped them.
Thumped
We just
them.
thumped them. I've got some rain to show you on radar. In fact, some thunderstorms in parts of the state. We'll take a look at that and take a look at how hot it was in just a few minutes.
All righty, and later in the newscast, cleanup after a tornado twirls through parts of Minnesota. And later, this.
I'm Bob Berry Jr., and tonight in sports, a look at the 3rd round of the British Open, an update on Leslie O'Neal, and a look at a football camp of a different kind. That and more as News 4 Nightcast continues.
You know, I almost wish that was a mistake up there. 103 degrees this afternoon. It hit at 5:45 if you were outside. It felt every bit as warm as that. Right now we have some showers and some thunderstorms in extreme northwestern sections of Oklahoma associated with a cold front, which is making a run at Oklahoma. It's going to make a stab at the state. It doesn't look like it's going to make too much of a passage tonight, but tomorrow it should push on through the state. It's kind of a rare cold front for July. It's weak, but nevertheless it will bring temperatures down just a little bit. As this thunderstorm moved into northwestern sections of Oklahoma, a severe thunderstorm warning was issued for Woodward County. That will be in effect until 11 o'clock tonight, so we'll be here a little bit later watching this activity as it moves into northwestern and central sections of Oklahoma. It should start to fizzle out as it makes its progress to the east. The national radar is showing a better picture of just exactly what's going on. Showers and thunderstorms across southwestern sections of Kansas in through Colorado and New Mexico. All the activity associated with the frontal system, which is moving to the very slowly to the east. Right now in Oklahoma City, it's still kind of warm. 103 this afternoon, 92 degrees at this late hour. The humidity was down today. It's up a little bit tonight, 27%. The barometer at 30 inches. It's steady, clear skies, south breezes at 8 miles per hour. Take a look at the high temperatures from our weather watchers. Warm one, 98 degrees up in southern Logan County. Edmond, 104. Deer Creek, 103. In Piedmont, 104 degrees this afternoon in the Nichols Hills area. It was even warm in Nichols Hills, 104 in Norman, 103. And how about Newalla? That's what everyone wants to know. What about Newalla? 104 degrees, Choctaw 104, and in Spencer, Oklahoma, 102 degrees this afternoon. Well, this has been by far the hottest day of the year. I think so far the warmest was like 98, 99 degrees. This afternoon we just shattered that. 107 degrees from Woodward. Even warm out in Guyman, 104. Ponca City not far behind, 106. Altus, 102. And Hobart in Kiowa County, 105 warm ones this afternoon. More than a dozen record high temperatures were shattered across the country, even down in the southeast. Another heat wave for those folks down there. Charleston, South Carolina, another day up past 100 degrees, and they broke their record high temperature. Temperatures quite warm up through the northern plains and the Great Lakes area. Up in the extreme northeast, temperatures in the 70s and temperatures in the low 100s in the southwest. The satellite loop shows the heavy thunderstorms building over sections of the plains associated with that frontal system. Again, we'll expect that frontal system to not make it through tonight, but eventually it's going to be making a stab at the state and pushing down to the south. And by Monday, we'll see some slightly cooler air move in, but don't look for anything too drastic. We're calling a slight chance for rain for Sunday, 95 degrees, and temperatures kind of warm for the next couple of days. Another chance for rain coming in here for Thursday. Here's my forecast then for tonight. Thunderstorms in the northwestern one half with south breezes. The forecast then for tomorrow, partly cloudy, not as hot. Thunderstorms possible in the northwest. The forecast for Monday, partly cloudy and warm. Now the metro forecast for tonight, warm. We may see some of that activity move into central sections of the state, but that'll be late. And for Sunday, partly cloudy and warm. Highs across Oklahoma. For tomorrow, in the 90s. For central Oklahoma, tomorrow should be cooler, 95 degrees. And once again, thunderstorm warning out for Woodward County. That's up in the northwest. In effect, until 11 o'clock, we'll be here and watching it.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
Okay.
Coming up, a gift from the Midwest comes to the bone-dry southeast.
And we'll have this story.
Residents on the northwest side of the city are being asked to cut down on water usage this weekend. I'm UZ Brown. I'll have that story coming up on Nightcast.
Crews in Minnesota are working to restore electrical power and clear away debris left by a tornado yesterday. Look at some pictures. No injuries were reported, but a dozen homes were damaged and some 2,500 homes are without electricity. These pictures are incredible. They were taken by a news crew in a helicopter less than a half a mile away. Donna?
Well, it's not rain or thunderstorms that's striking the people in the southeast. It's drought. The area around South Carolina is bone dry. Cattle farmers lined up today at an airfield outside Greenville. They were waiting for the first plane load of hay to arrive from parts of the Midwest. South Carolina Governor Dick Riley was on hand to greet the first plane. It carried 1,000 bales of alfalfa from Illinois. It's hoped this gift of hay will help some Carolina cattle farmers stay on solid ground. No rain means no food for their cattle. The shipped-in hay will tide their cattle over for a while.
I don't have two choices. You either find some more hay or sell some cows.
The airlift will continue for a few more days. The donations will help for a while, but what they really need is more rain. On a sizzling day like today, people naturally seek out water for play or work.
But residents on the northeast side of the city are being asked not to be frivolous with water this weekend.
As UZ Brown tells us, it's a matter of save now or suffer later.
Water everywhere, but not a drop to be wasted if you live in the northwest portion of the city.
In order to prevent any kind of real major problem of low water pressure, and in the event of a fire that we wouldn't have enough water, we're asking people in the northwest section of town, generally north of Northwest Highway and west of Portland, to curtail outside water uses such as watering the grass, washing cars, or filling their swimming pools, just for this weekend.
The voluntary rationing is the result of malfunctioning equipment at the Lake Hefner treatment plant, which caused a 60% drop in capacity. The problem was corrected, but high usage during these scorching temperatures has made it difficult to fill storage tanks.
On Friday, we only had 6 feet in there. Today, we were able to get that up to about 12 feet, so we have made some improvement on the problems.
Maupin says the situation is not critical and it could be cleared up by Monday. He says the city just needs residents to be water conscious this weekend. UZ Brown, News 4, Nightcast.
Tonight in sports, Greg Norman has the lead with one round left and still another major men's golf event.
Bob Berry Jr. will have British Open highlights in a moment and a look at a new summer league for young football prospects. Sports is next.
Bob's here now, and it's happened several times before this year in men's golf.
It's kind of strange. Greg Norman looking for an elusive victory that seems to slip away from him. It's becoming a familiar sight in men's professional golf. Australian star Greg Norman leading a tournament with one round to go, but in major events, it seems like Norman has always had a downfall during the final 18 holes. The Great White Shark led both the Masters and the U.S. Open heading into the last round and lost both of them. Tomorrow, he'll tee off, leading the British Open in Scotland, still looking for major win number 1. Ray Floyd got one of those wins in the U.S. Open this year, but he missed today. This birdie putt at number 18 finished 3 over 73 today. He's 8 over par for the tournament, 7 shots off the lead. First round leader Ian Woosnam of Britain, all 5 feet 4.5 inches of him, is still very much in it. This birdie at 16 led to a 70, and he trails by 3 shots. He is 4 over par. Japan's Tommy Nakajima wasn't bothered by a double bogey at number 16 because he birdied at number 17. Had a 71 today. He's just 1 shot back at 2 over par. Greg Norman ran into trouble, though. The weather started getting bad. Here, a bunker shot at 16. Greg got a mouthful of beach there and led to a bogey on this hole. He dropped to even par. Then the heavy rains really came down. Greg was trying to keep his clubs dry and was failing in that. And as the umbrellas went up, Norman came to number 18, putting for par and missed it. He finished with a 4 over 74 just after that 63 yesterday. He's 1 over par after 3 rounds of the British Open, but still has a 1-shot lead. The scores, Norman at 1 over, Nakajima is at 2 over. Those two will battle tomorrow. At 2:14 or 4 over, Ian Woosnam, Gordon Brand, and Canizares, the Spanish golfer. At 2:17, the best American right now is Gary Koch. Nick Faldo also up there at 7 over par. 8 over Ray Floyd, David Graham, along with Britain Sam Torrance and Bernhard Langer, the West German, who had a 76 today. Other scores, Greg Turner, former OU star, is 9 over. Gary Player, Andy Bean, Payne Stewart, Fuzzy Zeller, and Oklahoman Danny Edwards at 10 over par. Bob Twaslip today had a 76. He's 11 over, along with defending champion Sandy Lyle. Seve Ballesteros 14 over, and look at the scores mount for Watson, Trevino, and Nicholas. 15, 16, and 17 over par. Now, on the regular tour, Kurt Byram has a 2-shot lead over Mark Wiebe at the Hardee's Classic in Coal Valley, Illinois. And then the Oak Tree guys, Morgan Wood and Hayes, are right there in it. And on the women's tour, Val Skinner is pretty much in the running. She is tied for the lead. The former OSU girl is at 5 under par. And former Tulsa great Kathy Baker is just 3 under par. The 4th and final round of that event tomorrow. Major League Baseball today, the star for the California Angels was Rupert Jones, who hit 2 home runs today, and the Angels beat Toronto. The final score was 9-3. Now, I'm going to show you the National League scoreboard first, and I'll tell you what the significance was of Rupert Jones' blast that he hit today. Houston beat New York tonight 5-4. That's a final, and Chicago over San Francisco. So the Astros are now right there with the Giants again in the National League West. Other scores, St. Louis beat Los Angeles 2-1. Atlanta over Montreal 7-2. Cincinnati has won 5 in a row. They're chasing San Francisco and Houston now. Pittsburgh beat San Diego 4-3. American League, Boston's Roger Clemens looking for his 16th straight win this year, 16 and 18 tries. Chicago beat New York 8-3 this afternoon, so Boston picks up the game on the Yankees. Detroit got a 3-run homer from Kirk Gibson in the bottom of the 12th tonight. They were trailing by a run. They beat the Rangers, and California won, so Angels now have a 2.5-game lead over the Rangers in the American League West. Cleveland beat Kansas City. Phil Niekro has won 307 career games. Baltimore over Minnesota. Oakland over Milwaukee. And the 89ers playing and losing on the road at Indianapolis. They're now 12 games below 500. New York Mets players Tim Tuffle and Ron Darling will be arraigned tomorrow on felony charges of aggravated assault in Houston, stemming from an incident with police outside a Houston bar last night. The pair, along with teammates Bob Ojeda and Rick Aguilera, scuffled with officers after Tuffle refused to leave his cocktail behind when leaving the night spot. Tuffle had been asked to leave the bar after getting into an argument with a patron in the club. Well, if you're wondering about former Oklahoma State football star Leslie O'Neal's contract with the San Diego Chargers of the NFL, so is everyone else out west. A News 4 check on the situation tonight revealed a total stall in negotiations, even though Charger rookies reported to camp today in La Jolla, California. According to San Diego's media relations staff, there are currently no contract discussions going on between Leslie O'Neal and the San Diego Chargers. OU's football team suffered a blow earlier this week when it was learned nose guard Richard Davis from Jenks has quit the Sooner squad. Davis was expected to battle Curtis Williams for Tony Casillas' vacant position on Oklahoma's defensive front, but Davis reportedly told a teammate he wasn't happy in Norman and will probably transfer to Texas A&M. High school athletes have always had a chance to play summer league baseball or basketball, and now football players are getting a unique way to prepare for their specialty. Robert Allen visited something today and shows it to you.
No, it's not quite time for high school football teams to start practicing. That's still about 3 weeks off. In a way, though, these guys are practicing. They're involved in Oklahoma City's first passing football league. No pads, and except for a center, no linemen. Strictly passing and pass defense. The game originated in California, and thanks to McGinnis coach Tom Ward, it's caught on here.
We, have been tossing around doing it, and this year we finally decided to do it. And I approached about 8 different coaches across the city area, and they all just were very, very excited about it, and this is what we've got.
Mark 2, McGinnis 1. The game consists of 7 players on half a football field. Points are awarded for completing passes. The longer the pass, the more points. The defense scores too, either by intercepting or knocking the ball down. The game is fun, and in Oklahoma, where running has always been the popular way to move the football, this game could change some coaches' way of thinking.
I think it might, but we've got a couple of teams in the league that are notorious for just being run-oriented offenses, and I think the approach they're taking is not only will it help their offense, but it's going to help tremendously their defense.
It helps the coaches understand what they can do in the game, if they need to stick with running or if their passing game is going to work.
Most of the players agree the game is fun and it will help. The only real complaint any of them had about it was getting up at 7 a.m. to go play it. Robert Allen, News 4 Sports.
And I bet there was a little perspiration with this summertime weather, don't you think? At least the bowlers will be cool because they'll be indoors. The PBA's Hammer Open will officially begin its 4-day run tomorrow at Edmonds Boulevard Bowl. This is the second richest professional bowlers tournament here in the summer tour, and it's right here in Oklahoma. Almost all of the top names in pro bowling will be there, including Marshall Holman, Steve Cook, Mark Roth, and Oklahoma's own Mike Edwards, along with Billy Young Jr., to name a few. So you'll want to get out to Boulevard Bowl. The finals will be nationally televised on ESPN next Wednesday night, a 2-hour presentation. And World Boxing Association heavyweight champion Tim Witherspoon retained his title tonight in his first defense in England with an 11th round TKO over European champion Frank Bruno, who had only 1 defeat coming in. Witherspoon is now 25-2 with 17 knockouts. There were over 40,000 fans at London's Wembley Stadium going home not so jolly tonight. Now, here's KTVY outdoor editor Don Wallace with Sunday's fishing forecast. Don?
Weekend's only half over. Tomorrow's good times for fishing or hunting, 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. Good luck.
And wear a wet headband if you go out and throw a plug in the water. And former Oklahoma State tennis player Lori McNeil, who reached the quarterfinals at Wimbledon recently, will meet Pam Shriver in the finals of a Virginia Slims tournament tomorrow in Newport, Rhode Island. Lori McNeil is quickly rising into the top 20 in the world in tennis. She's making a name for herself.
Okay, Bob, thanks. The weather window is next. Don't go away.
Once again, thunderstorm warning continues in effect until 11 o'clock for Woodward County. There you can see the activity starting to creep into Woodward County, moving to the southeast at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. We'll continue to watch the activity. Out the weather window for tomorrow, I think you'll see a few clouds around. The clouds will be rolling around just a little bit. Son of a gun, there's that trophy again. In the morning, partly cloudy, about 78 degrees. I know Dan likes that trophy.
I can't believe you showed the trophy again. Wasting time with that trophy. 25 years ago, Caroline Kennedy caught the heart of the nation as a 3-year-old running around the White House. Tonight, she's a married woman. She has married New York businessman Edwin Schlossberg. Caroline's uncle, Ted Kennedy, escorted her down the aisle at the Centerville, Massachusetts church. After today's wedding, there was a grand reception at the Kennedy compound at Hyannisport. And,
nice wedding, but
nice
great
wedding.
trophy.
That trophy, we're going to have to talk. We'll probably be talking about it for weeks. We'll see you tomorrow at 6. Hope you'll join us.
Good night.
Good night.